What's going on, everybody? It's EricRayweather back here helping you take your game to the next level. And in today's video, I'm going to be showing you the different coverages and how they absolutely can shut down the run in Madden 18. Now, if this is your first time checking out one of my videos and you want to improve your Madden game, go ahead and hit the subscribe button below. Make sure to hit the bell icon so that you join the notification squad and never miss an upload. So what's up, guys? Like I said, today I'm going to be going over the important coverages you need to understand for stopping the run in Madden 18. So there's certain coverages that do better against the run than other coverages, and certain coverages that are good specifically for just certain types of runs, and it's good to know them all. And I wish I would have did a video like this a little bit earlier in the year. I've talked about some of these coverages in separate videos, but I wish I would have done an entire video on it for you guys, just breaking down every single coverage, but it kind of just occurred to me to do that. But I know a lot of people are still playing, so this will still be of some use to you and will be useful for you going into Madden 19 as well, because the way the coverages attack the run isn't going to change. They have principles to the coverages, so this is still going to be helpful for you for Madden, for years to come. So the first one we're going to talk about is obviously cover 4. Most of you know why this is good at stopping the run, but I want to get a little more specific with it today. So the main thing with cover 4 that you need to know when shutting down the run is the safeties are run first defenders in a cover 4. That means that at the snap of the ball, they're going to stay put. They're not going to backpedal like this. They're going to actually stay put and read the play, and if they see the running back get the ball, then they're going to attack forward. So let me show an example here. Let me go to a Tampa 2 really quickly. So when I go to run the ball here, watch the safeties. You see how they start backpedaling as my controller batteries are low, but you saw how they started backpedaling. So let's just show that really quickly on the replay, because this is important to know. So you see they start backpedaling, so they're taking themselves further away from the run. Now watch in a cover 4 what they do. You see how they stay put, and they got into the box a lot quicker to clog up the lane. So most of you know that already, but just for those who maybe don't know that, who are new to the channel, just wanted to cover those bases first. So watch the safety. You see at the snap of the ball, they're staying put. They're reading the play. As soon as they see the running back get the ball, they attack. So they're getting into the box quicker. That'll cause some of the other offensive linemen to break off of their blocks sometimes. It's just kind of glitchy like that, and they get in the box quicker to help contain the run. So the thing with cover 4 is a lot of people know that it does very well against the run, but a lot of people think it does well against every run, and it's not the case. Cover 4 mainly is going to do very well against inside runs, and it can do okay against outside runs if you baseline and show blitz. Then it'll do a little bit better because your safeties are a little bit out wider, and it can do well, but typically, like a stretch play, for example, would do very well against cover 4 the majority of the time. But we're going to talk about inside runs right now. So when I'm expecting an inside run, or if I'm playing someone that likes to run a lot of halfback dives or like a lot of inside zones out of shotgun, I might run cover 4 as my base defense, like when I'm not blitzing, when I'm just kind of just playing a base coverage, because if they run up the middle, I know I have the best chance of stopping them. But if they go to pass, I still have coverage on the field. So I'm trying to put myself in the best position to succeed. So when I'm running cover 4, I like to manually kind of walk these safeties down, get them a little closer into the box, because at that point, then they're even closer to the running back, and it makes it very hard to run up the middle. You can also achieve this by doing the baseline and show blitz thing. Even though it's going to put them a little bit further out wide, it still kind of manually walks them down for you. But I prefer to manually do it just because I like to kind of have them on the inside if I'm expecting an inside run. But if you're a guy that just wants to get them kind of down quicker, just baseline and press. So then when you go to run these inside runs, you see it's really clogged up because those safeties are immediately going to be into the box. Watch on the replay one more time. You see the safeties are immediately in here clogging this up, and it's allowing other guys to come unblocked, to come free, and it's just very hard to run up the middle. So I'm going to back out of this real quick, go to a shotgun inside zone, because I want to show this as well. It's going to be very good against inside zone, so we'll do like a trips tight end look, because that's a lot of people like to run inside zones out of the trip sets. So here what I would do is, you always want to baseline it. I feel like that's just good practice. Wire triangle right on the left stick. It just kind of centers everything up. And then, like I said, you can either show blitz from there, or you can just manually walk the safeties down. It's up to you. And you always want to try to control the linebacker yourself and try to manually shoot the gap just to make the defense even that, much better. Because if you're shooting the gap too, then it makes it really, you see how it just clogged up the lane guy? We'll go to the replay. If you're expecting inside runs, or you're playing someone that does a mix of pass, but they favor inside runs, especially like inside zone, you want to stick in cover 4 as your base defense. Because you see those safeties, they didn't leave. They stayed in the box. You see how Julio Jones over here to the left, he went and got the safety. If that safety was further down the field, or if we were in like a cover 3 or cover 2, he wouldn't have went after that safety. He would have took one of these linebackers here, because that safety wouldn't have been a threat. But because we put him in the box and because it's a cover 4, he stayed put and then tried to attack. So Julio Jones, who could have been an extra blocker for us, had to actually take him up instead, because he was a threat. So keep that in mind with cover 4. So now we are going to come out in a we're going to talk about outside runs now. So let's go here to deuce close, and we'll do a stretch. So one of the runs that does typically very well against cover 4, or can do very well, are stretch plays. And you need to know that, because if someone's running a lot of stretches, yeah, there's, if you base a line press and are a really good user, you can kind of contain it sometimes with the cover 4, but cover 2 is going to be your best bet. But there's a couple things you need to know about it. So, for example, if they're in a compressed set like this, like they're in deuce close, they're probably going to run a lot of stretch. So what you want to do out of the cover 2 is you want to base a line and press. Wire triangle right on the left stick, wire triangle down on the left stick. And what this does is, in a cover 2, instead of the safeties being run first defenders, the outside cornerbacks and those cloud flats, they're going to be the run first defenders. So they're going to shoot straight down and pretty much hit the running back for a loss almost every single time, unless they just happen to get caught up, which doesn't happen too often. And again, you still want to use one of these guys. If you see them running the stretch, you want to scrape out here as well. But you see how the cornerback just flew in there and just completely annihilated him? That's what's going to happen. This is also good to know on like single back tight slots, the pitch. Now, where tight slots gets kind of tricky is the dive and the pitch are both very good out of tight slots, so it's kind of more of a cat and mouse game. Sometimes you're a little better running cover 4 just against that, just because of the balance. But with deuce close, more people want to run the stretch than the wham at this point of the year. And you see how the cornerback just walked into the backfield completely unblocked. The stretch had no chance to go anywhere, and it's going to be the same thing even if we flip it to the other side. Again, cover 2, base line press. I'm not even going to use or anything on this play. I'm just going to put it on the D tackle, and I'm going to try to run this ball. And you see, I mean, it's just he's in the backfield immediately. So when you're expecting any type of outside run, you want to go with a cover 2. Now, this is something else you need to know about it. So that's a stretch run or an outside run out of a compressed set. Now we want to look at, I'm actually have to back out here and come out in a more of a balanced set here to show this. So we're going to go in single back big, single back ace, and look at this stretch. Now, the thing with this is the baseline press can usually still work, but sometimes they will get blocked, because if you notice, we have wide receivers sitting over those cornerbacks now, so they are susceptible to getting blocked. It won't happen every single time. Look, we'll run it here. You see he got blocked there. We didn't get a lot of yards, but we got about 3.5, which is still more than we would like to give up. So this is what you need to do when you're expecting an outside run out of a balanced set like this, where you have wide receivers over your cornerbacks. You want to man them up on those wide receivers. Now, why this works, I couldn't tell you. It's just one of those Madden things. But when you man those guys up and you're expecting the outside run, boom, they will not get blocked. They will never get blocked. I'm going to flip it to the other side and do the same thing. Baseline press, man him up, try to run it, boom, every time. So when you're expecting an outside run from a balanced set or a spread set, that's what you're going to want to do. Like I said, sometimes you can still baseline and press if you don't like manning them up. You can kind of slide the cornerbacks in a little bit, like so. And usually that'll keep them from getting blocked, but nothing is foolproof like manning them up. Manning them up, see, he came in untouched that time, so we slid him inside. But even when you slide them inside, sometimes they can still get picked up. The only surefire way is to man them up, and it has to be out of a cover 2. So just take note of that. Now, the last thing we want to look at is another coverage that a lot of people don't realize is good in the run game, and it's more of a balanced way to stop the run, and that's cover 6. Now, I mainly like to use cover 6 when I'm going up against shotgun. But I'm going to show you actually how we can use it to our advantage under center as well. But first we'll look at shotgun. So the thing you need to notice about shotgun is the running back is on one side of the quarterback, whereas under center the running back could go either way. Out of shotgun, 95% of the time the running back is going to go to the opposite side of the field that he's standing on, because most people don't run shotgun counters. It's very rare and they're not really that good. If anybody's running the ball out of shotgun, it's going to be like usually an inside zone, and they're either going to look to take it up the middle or take it to the outside. They might run an 0-1 trap up the middle, or they might run a draw. Those are like really the main ones, but the most popular run is inside zone. So what you always want to do with cover 6 in shotgun, if you don't want to run cover 4, because cover 6 to me is a little bit better of a pass coverage than cover 4, and it'll get you a lot of interceptions because people just really struggle going against cover 6. I've done tons of videos on it. You've seen it in gameplay. Cover 6, it just confuses people in the pass game. So when I'm going up against shotgun, I like to use cover 6 because it's a little bit better of a pass coverage in my opinion than cover 4, but it also is good in the run support. But what you want to make sure to do when you run cover 6 is you want the cloud flat on the opposite side of the running back, because you want the outside protection on the opposite side of the running back, because 95% of the time, if the running back's going to go to the outside, he has to go to the opposite side that he's lined up on. So we see the running backs on the right, so we need that cloud flat to go to the left side of the field. So we just flip the play, which is X or square and then RT or R2. Boom. And then we just want to base align and then press. Now, you might want to move this guy back a little bit, just depending on what formation you're going up against, just so he doesn't get bombed. But that's about it right there. And then, what you still have is, you still have some inside run support, because this safety is in the run fit. So, you have the cover 4 safety right here, he's in the run fit, and you have the cover 2 cornerback, he's in his run fit. So, whether they go inside or outside, you still have some decent support. And you always want to have these safeties, you know, kind of in the box as much as possible to help with that. So you see, if I try to take this to the outside, he actually got blocked there. But the thing with it is that you want to give yourself the best chance to succeed with this. So, like for instance, I can go man this guy up, and then he's probably going to just walk in this time if I man him up. So we're going to try to run the ball now to the outside, and exactly. It's kind of the same principle as the cover 2. If you just do the regular cloud flat, if there's wide receivers over him, he can get blocked sometimes. But if you man him up, he's going to walk in. So that's just something to know about it. But also, if you go up the middle, because you have this cover 4 safety right here, you still have some decent support if they just go up the middle. And of course, it's hard for me to show this right now because I'm using both controllers. But I was trying to shoot the gap and run the ball at the same time. But you can see the safety over here, he's in the gap. He actually kind of reacted kind of poopy that time. He didn't really he didn't shoot in. He kind of like glitched out a little bit. But usually he's going to get in that box and do a better job at defending the inside run. So now let me show you another thing to do. And this is kind of something I saw on the tournament scene earlier this year. And actually in Ultimate League, somebody was doing it. I don't remember who. So another way you can use cover 6 under center. So for example, let's say this is a good example, like the single back ace. So it's balanced, and you're not really sure which side the run's going to go to, right? You're just not sure. But you want to run cover 6 in case they pass. See, with a cover 2, you have both outsides taken care of because you have cloud flats on both outsides. But if you want to run cover 6 under center, you have to kind of guess, well, which side would the stretch be going to? But something you could do is you can base align, you can press, and then you can take this cornerback right here, this in the deep zone, and you can man him up. And then over here, you could either slide this guy in, or you can man him up as well. But let's say we want the actual cloud flat there, so we're going to slide him in just a little bit. So now what you have here is you have a way to stop the stretch on both outsides of the field while still playing a cover 6 coverage, which is kind of unique. So if I try to run this to his side, boom, I lose 5 yards. So if you want to use cover 6 under center, that's how you kind of have to do it. You have to man up that deep zone, or if you're in a situation like this, for example, where it is a where you're induced close. I don't have to stretch in my audibles, but if you're induced close here and you want to run the cover 6, you can do this, and you can either put this guy into a cloud flat, or you can leave him in his outside quarter if you want, but you're just going to have to be a little bit more responsible to stop the stretch on that side of the field with your linebacker. You're going to have to be a little bit more aggressive, but you know that you can play aggressive to the right because you have the cloud flat on the left. So those are the coverages that do the best at stopping the runs, and those are the specific runs they're good against, and this is how you want to use them in game against people who like to run the ball. You have to pay attention to how they're running the ball, what their tendencies are, so that you know which coverages to stick in. But that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, as always, just drop a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.